Hi everyone, welcome to day 4 of SLC's Lockdown Countdown. Today I'm joined by Adam Hanmer, Trade Manager at Destination Canada. Hi Adam, how are you?
Hey Jill, yeah, really good, thanks.
Great, thanks so much for joining us today.
Pleasure.
Going straight in, tell us, Destination Canada, how have you had to pivot in 2020?
Well, I mean, like a lot of destinations, our focus just switched to domestic once the borders were closed, and obviously my role is trying to get Brits to Canada. We've actually been quite successful in terms of rebookings with Canada. There's been a good appetite from people that cancel to rebook down the line. So from that's kind of what I've been focusing on. But from head office, it's very much, we really focused on domestic. So actually getting Canadians to travel within Canada this summer, because I mean that was really all the only opportunity for the tourism business is to get people through the doors and through their experiences. So that has been fairly successful. The challenge is obviously the domestic numbers. They don't spend as much as the international guests, but we've had some success with that, which has been good. But certainly there's a big appetite to. Our hope is that the border will open next year, so we can get the Brits back over to Canada. Those holidays that were booked this year to be taken next year.
And in terms of the dates, you're thinking May onwards for borders open would be your wish list.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a crystal ball. It's the question everyone asks me is like when the borders are going to open, and I don't know. And to be honest, we don't really get any heads up on that. It's down to government. But for us, really, I mean, we obviously ski season is really important for Canada, and the hope is that we'll get some sort of that we have a long season, so you can ski in Alberta, in Jasper right up until May. So my hope is that we'll get some late ski, but our main business is really this summer. So end of April, early May would be great if we have the borders open then, but we just don't know, and we're just sort of planning sort of accordingly, and like everyone, just trying to be flexible with what we're doing.
Yeah, we've all had to adapt hugely this year. What innovations have you seen that have caught your eye?
Well, I don't know whether it's an innovation, but I was particularly impressed with Barhead Travel, who obviously big tour operator and travel agency network in Scotland, and they well, from what I read, and I think this happened, but they obviously worked out that they weren't going to get the sort of revenue they needed to support all their staff, and they basically found jobs for them with the Scottish track and trace system. So I thought that was clever. I think I mean, I've also got a lot of respect for a lot of people that work here on the marketing side, or little rep agencies. I know, seeing on LinkedIn, people who've basically been taking shifts in Tesco's to kind of bring some money in, and although it's not particularly creative, I just think it's it just shows people in the travel industry do want to work, they're keen, and I think in terms of the Barhead, we've got really good transferable skills. So I think there's a good message in there, and that if you can pivot to bring in some income another way, then that's great. And then we just have to sit it out until we build the business back up and people are able to travel freely going forward.
Absolutely. And speaking of travelling freely, if all the borders in the world open tomorrow, where would be top of your list to jet off to?
Well, we love a holiday, me and my wife and the kids. We did get to Greece in the summer.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, we went to Kos, which was fab. We've actually taken a bit of a punt on going to Jamaica at Christmas.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We booked it a couple of weeks ago. My wife, basically, without knowing to me, we've moved quite recently out of London to Hastings, and we've got a lovely house, and she put it on Airbnb for Christmas, and we've got a booking for 10 nights from a family in London. So basically we thought, oh, well, if they're coming, we'll go. So yeah, we've booked Jamaica. I mean, Jamaica currently there's a quarantine on, but it looks like they're going to reduce. Ireland have just reduced the quarantine to 5 days, and I know Grant Shapps is working on this. I think the quarantine is going to reduce between with testing between 5 and 7 days. So
Yeah.
even if we have to quarantine for 5 days, I mean, we're a family of 5. I mean, in the UK before this lockdown, you could only, you could only meet with 6 people. So we were a bit like, well, if we can't see our family, we might as well go. So yeah, so hopefully Jamaica, but it might not happen. And then, yeah, I mean, we're booked for Dominican Republic at Easter, and I think we'll go back to Greece and Turkey in the summer. So,
yeah. So Europe and Caribbean are top of the list. I know there've been lots of Caribbean travel corridors. We're going to keep everything crossed for you for Jamaica, and wishing you all the best with Destination Canada as well. Thank you very much for joining us today, Adam.
Thanks, Jill.